Hi, and welcome to Carolina Varsity's 2015 Players of the Game for Week 6. I'm Dale Ross.
And I'm the pit man, Matt Mara.
Hey, Matt, since you had to work and I did get to attend the game, so I'll try not to be too long on this, but I was at the Phillip O'Berry Catholic game. Obviously, it was a big gap game. But in that game, still, the player that stood out the most would be Jarret Anderson, and he's been mentioned a lot.
Oh, yeah.
First time I've got to see him this year, and he is definitely a better ball player than he was last year. He has improved. 23 carries, 252 yards, 3 TDs. One of them was just right about an 80-yard up the middle run. But a player that really impressed me a lot was number 81, Jonathan Newman. He caught 2 passes for a touchdown, 6'2" junior. Player we're going to need to maybe pay attention to. He's not a exceptionally big kid. I think he's like around 180, but looks like a player that looked good on the field. And as I watched him, and then all of a sudden, they're hitting him with a couple of passes and played very, very well. And then there was a kid that was in the backfield that did give Digsby a little bit of trouble. Number 82, John Brandt, defensive end, another junior. So. Catholic's got several, as I look down the roster, they got a number of good-looking juniors on their squad. For Phillip O'Berry, I had to pick Brian Digsby. It's the first time I got to see him in a full game. He's not the quarterback, but he had to go again. He's a tight end. He's got a tight end body. That's a big kid. He really is. He's a big, about 220-pound kid. Throws the ball well for not being a quarterback. 20 of 37, 257 yards, and 1 TD. A number of his passes went through the hands because it was wet.
Right.
It was very difficult for them to throw the ball. He's number 1, and number 11, Cureton, and I'm not sure how to pronounce his first name. Kusegi.
I believe that's correct.
Kusegi, Cureton, kid caught 12 balls for 204 yards.
That's unbelievable in that wet weather.
I tell you, he caught that big 71-yard touchdown. That he made a great play on the ball. Had to make a great catch. This was before the rain started, but and then there was a kid I kept seeing, number 55, on defense. So I want to mention the defensive players. Rachon is Richon. Green. He's a senior, played linebacker, but he was all over that field.
He killed us last year at Harding. He's a heck of a player. He played defensive end last year on us. We couldn't block him.
He was all over the field. I do want to say that Catholic did dominate the game, but there were several series that the Berry defense actually stopped the interior run. I mean, they did play well. It wasn't fluke stuff. I mean, they actually did execute and play well, and they just couldn't obviously do it every series. So, congratulations to you guys. Y'all played a good ball game. Tough weather conditions.
Great job, guys. For me, I've got a few here. Darnell Walker, running back, Mallard Creek, 20 carries for 160 yards, 3 touchdowns in their victory over West Charlotte. Once again, Bryce Maginley, 10 of 20, 147 passing, 2 touchdowns, 15 rushes for 174 yards and 3 touchdowns, 5 total touchdowns. And also played some defense at safety where he was coming up and laying the wood. So that's very impressive right there. Garrett Schrader, quarterback at Christian, 14 of 20 for 257 yards, 6 touchdowns in their victory. Hough defensive end Jaison Fournet, hope I'm saying that right. 2 sacks in their 28-0 victory over Hopewell. Also wanted to throw in the defense, had 7 sacks total in that game. For Hopewell, Dion Rivers had a fumble recovery and an interception in the loss, so great job to Mr. Rivers. Kevin Alford for Myers Park had a 60-yard pick 6 return for a touchdown in the 24-10 win over Rocky River. Demontrez Burroughs for North Meck had the 93-yard kickoff return for a touchdown and a 40-yard TD run in the 42-20 loss to A.L. Brown. 2 for A.L. Brown. Sandon McCoy, I remember him from a couple years ago. 170 yards rushing and 4 total touchdowns, including 3 rushing in their win over North Meck. And the quarterback, Damon Johnson, also remember him as well. He's a senior, threw 2 touchdowns and ran for 2 more touchdowns in their victory over North Meck. And you got some more there?
So we're going to hopefully have a voice from Union County, more of a voice. This guy tweets me every Friday night, and he sent me a couple of player recommendations. We mentioned earlier about Marvin Ridge beating Porter Ridge in the best of last. And out of that ball game, number 4, Devin Adkins, he's a senior. He had 3 TDs, scored 1 through the air, reception, 47-yard, returned a punt for 50, and rushed 1 for 68.
You're doing it all, man.
Exactly. Excuse me. And then another, and your name is going to be hard to for me to pronounce, Emeka, Emezie. Emezi.
Yep.
Emezi is what I'm going with. He caught 2 TDs, 9-yard slant and a 42-yard go route. So
it's funny. He was featured on Football Friday Night. He caught that go route.
Oh, was he?
And did a little dance in the end zone that they replayed a couple times. So
I didn't see that. Of course, I was getting ready to head to Charleston, but I did not know that. So congratulations, gentlemen. I can throw another one out here. I talked to Coach Johnson about his game over, the Butler, over Butler. Yes, Coach Hell's the head coach, but Coach Johnson communicates more with me. And so people have suggested Davis Cheeks, who was 11 of 15, 194, 6 TDs. And sorry, you're not player of the game. Jed Higdon, senior tight end, had 3 of those TDs were caught by him. And he was recommended by Coach Johnson as a player of the game. Obviously, Cheeks had a great game. And then I asked who from Garinger, because we'd like to hear about players from Garinger, from Harding. We want to hear about you guys' seasons may not be going well, but we want to hear about players that are doing well. And he told me, he said it was a number 8, didn't know his name, he was unblockable. So I looked him up, Derek Yoko. So Derek, you caught the Butler coach's attention. Not a gigantically big kid. I think he's like 5'10" and right around 200 pounds. He was playing hands in the dirt, but a little bit of the highlights I was able to see, the kid moves real well. So hard, obviously, if he's unblockable at that size, he's working hard out there.
Very nice. Great job, guys. Got a few more, of course, from MHS, who does a great job with nominations on the Players of the Week thread at CarolinaVarsity.com. Hayden Carlson, Lake Norman quarterback. This is his first start of the season. 200 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. In that weather, it's awesome. In the 36-6 win over West Iredell. A couple from Pine Lake Prep. Taylor Hockman, 19 carries, 261 yards, 4 touchdowns. That's great.
Yeah.
But he also had 6 solo tackles, which is great.
Both sides of the ball. Exactly.
Love those two-way players.
Exactly.
And a 32-20 win over Harold's Christian. And Zach Gallant, he's a deep defensive back, had 11 tackles, 10 solo tackles, 2 interceptions, and a fumble caused. And that's awesome. We love seeing defensive players have those great numbers. Great job, Zach. J-Mo Thompson, what a name. J-Mo. Like North Lincoln, another two-way player. 15 carries, 227 yards, 3 touchdowns, and also had 5 tackles on defense in a wild game. 70-49 win over North Iredell.
Wow.
A lot of points. Steven Jackson, North Lincoln, also another two-way player. He's a running back and a defensive back. 11 carries, 151 yards, 10 tackles, 7 solos, an interception, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery.
Did you sell popcorn?
Wow. I cleaned the stadium after the game.
Goodness.
Here's a couple more. Marquise Dukes, North Iredell, running back and defensive back. 19 carries, 215 yards, and 3 touchdowns for North Iredell. And a kicker, Jonathan Dellinger for Country Day, had 3 field goals in those terrible field conditions. 43 yards, 35 yards, and 48 yards in high school. It's crazy. These kickers around here are getting great.
We got some good kickers.
And that was in a 23-2 win over Raleigh Ravenscroft. Mm-hmm. And Ishad Finger, Sun Valley sophomore running back, had 234 yards rushing. And their crazy victory over Forest Hills. Twitter was going crazy Friday night over that game. Heck of a comeback for Sun Valley.
Exactly. I got nominations from Coach Rocky White. Mm-hmm. Of course, they had a game against Harding, but out of that ball game, he said sophomore D'Angelo Blair Young had 7 tackles, 2 carries for 105 yards, and 2 TDs.
2 carries for 105 yards.
Yeah, 2 carries for 105.
What is that?
That's 52 and a half yards.
Give him the ball, Coach. Only 2 times? Come on, man.
Coach, what's it? How many times he touched the ball this year, Coach White? Maybe he needs to be touching the ball more.
All right, I got a few to finish it up here. Josh Rutherford for J.M. Robinson had a career-best 3 touchdowns in their road win at Carson. Shout out to J.M. Robinson and Coach Glass. I like Coach Glass. I consider him a friend. He's turned that program around in such a short time. That's awesome. Brandon Keller, junior defensive lineman for Northwest Cabarrus, blocked a field goal as time expired to preserve their win over Cox Mill in the Cottle Creek Cup. So great job to Mr. Keller there. That's awesome. Jordan Johnson, Concord Canton School junior running back, gained 176 yards and a touchdown in their win over Northside Christian. Shout out to the Ashbrook defense, Coach Hill, former East Meck coach, still at Ashbrook doing a good job. They allowed Stuart Kramer only 1 first down, and that was on a penalty. And Stuart Kramer finished with 16 total yards of offense and none on the ground. Wow. That is amazing.
Doesn't matter the separation of competition. That's still amazing, yeah.
And we got to finish it up with the Surratt brothers. Who else?
Yeah.
Chad Surratt, 343 yards, 5 touchdowns, and ran for another one. And he threw 3 of his touchdowns to his brother Sage, who had caught 5 passes for 191 yards and 3 TDs in the 56-7 win over Bandies.
Wow. So just one question: was Mount Pleasant not playing this week?
They might be playing tonight. Some games got moved. So.
Right.
Cody Reese. You got to give it to us, man. You got to give it to us.
Exactly. I was looking for 40, 50, 60 carries. Thanks. Let us know any players that you see in either team. It doesn't matter. Any position, kickers, punters, defensive players. We want to hear about them all.
Big lineman, too.
Big lineman, exactly. Let us know. Thank you.